Welcome beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. In today's video I'll be ranking in a tier list the Paris Saint-Germain Attackers ever since the QSI era began at Paris Saint-Germain. So from 2012 up until 2023 this season. Obviously I will be not putting Gonçalo Ramos, Colomwani, Dembele, Barcola, Asensio in this tier list because we haven't really seen them. I will only be taking attackers that have played at least one season for Paris Saint-Germain and that actually played games. So a player like Gonçalo Guedes will not feature, and even Ben Arfa will not feature because these players did not play enough games. So first player is Hugo Ekitike. So the ranks we have is GOAT, World Class, Good, Mid, and Donkey. And Ekitike, I love the guy. I mean, he's been a PSG fan since he was a young boy and so on. So I have a lot of affection and respect for him. But comparing him to these players, obviously he has to be on the Donkey tier. Next up, it's Choupo-Moting. And listen, sure, his goal versus Atalanta was probably the biggest goal of this club's history, taking us to our second semi-final of all time in the Champions League. But there it ends. There it absolutely ends. We can even talk about his miss in the Champions League final. So he obviously has to be Donkey, but he will be ahead of Hugo Ekitike as a Donkey. Next up, Lucas Moura, a player that I believe every PSG fan loved, but unfortunately, he could not muster up anything at this club. He did a lot of great things, but his biggest issue was inconsistency. He could be a prime Neymar for one game and then be, I don't know, one of the worst attackers I've seen in the next game. And obviously his what-if goal versus Marseille is ingrained in every PSG fan's head. So Lucas Moura definitely deserves a lot of respect. I mean, him, Marquinhos, Champion, mon frère, that's where it all started. So it's hard for me to rank Lucas, but looking at all other candidates, I'm gonna put him in good at the moment and then see throughout the video where if I'm gonna change that. Next up, it is Edinson Cavani, Paris Saint-Germain's second all-time top scorer after Kylian Mbappe broke his record this season. And Edinson Cavani, yeah, again, a player that I don't know, I didn't like as much as some of the other players here on this list, but I'm definitely put him at world class. He definitely deserves to be world class, not GOAT candidate, definitely not, but world class 100%. Next up is Moise Kean. Only played here for one season, was on loan, but I think every PSG fan still loves him. Every PSG fan still loves Moise Kean because when he was here, obviously it was really good for his standards. And then he was always fighting on the pitch. He played sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right. He was never complaining. Wanted to return to PSG from Everton, but could not happen. So I'm gonna put him actually in good, but behind Lucas Moura. Next up is Angel Di Maria. And this again is a hard one, but I believe Angel Di Maria takes world-class spot ahead of Edinson Cavani. I mean, Angel Di Maria, not to take anything away from any other player, but Angel Di Maria in the Champions League, probably PSG's biggest player from what I've seen. If you're talking numbers in big games, we may have to go with Angel Di Maria because what he did in big games, I mean, it was really good. Obviously, you have the Mbappes, you have the Neymars and so on at the top as well, but Di Maria, what a player, legend of the club. I'm gonna put him world class ahead of Edinson Cavani. Next up is Mauro Icardi. And Mauro Icardi, if he only made this tier list after his first season, he would probably be in good at the #1 spot. But sadly, he had 2-3 seasons after that where he was absolutely garbage, where he cheated on his wife and had to go to Italy and miss a Paris Saint-Germain game so he could fix his broken relationship. So yeah, Mauro Icardi, I'm definitely putting him at mid. Next up, it's Jesus Rodriguez. Probably the worst attacker I've seen at Paris Saint-Germain. And I've seen Hugo Ekitike and Choupo-Moting at this club. But Jesus Rodriguez, I think this is one of the easiest stuff to make in this tier list. And I'm gonna put him at Donkey at last. Next up, Julian Draxler, again a player that had a much brighter start than the end. Obviously, he's still a PSG player, even though Paris Saint-Germain at the moment currently are pushing him to go to Qatar. Draxler still humble player, a player that just fell down a lot. And it wasn't because of his age, like Idrissa Gueye or Ander Herrera, who came to the club at the age of 29. Draxler, when he came to PSG, he was one of the hottest young prospects in Europe. But he sadly never managed to do it. But I'm gonna actually put him... This is a hard one. I'm gonna put him in good but lost. Next up, it's Edinson Cavani, a player that joined us at a very old age, and we only saw him going down and becoming worse season after season, even though a lot of PSG fans still love him for his personality, his goal versus Chelsea, obviously. Everybody remembers that goal. Again, hard one. He's definitely going to be here in good. Was he better than Lucas Moura? That is a great question. I'm going to put him between Moise Kean and Lucas Moura. I'm going to put actually Lucas Moura ahead of Lavezzi. Obviously, Lucas Moura played longer time at PSG, and I would say had better performances than Edinson Cavani. Next up is Christopher Nkunku, obviously straight from the academy. Didn't feature that many games for Paris Saint-Germain, sadly enough, but definitely deserves to be here. This is a hard one. This is a really hard one here for me. I'm gonna have to think about this. Christopher Nkunku. Where do I put him? Where do I put Christopher Nkunku? Yeah, let's go mid. Yeah, mid behind Icardi. That sounds good. Moussa Diaby, another youngster from the Paris Saint-Germain Academy. I think he only played there for one season, and then he left to Bayer Leverkusen. And I'm gonna put Moussa Diaby ahead of Nkunku. I really enjoyed his only season at PSG, and I've always wanted him back at Paris Saint-Germain. So I'm put Moussa Diaby definitely ahead of Nkunku. I thought he performed much better. Nkunku was here for a longer time, but Diaby in that season was better than Nkunku in all of his seasons. Next up, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Obviously my favorite player, a big reason, pretty much the main reason I started supporting this beautiful club. So Zlatan Ibrahimovic has to be in the GOAT candidate. Definitely. Next up, it's Kylian Mbappe, Paris Saint-Germain's top scorer of all time. Where is he going to be put? Obviously, he's going to be in the GOAT candidate. The question is he ahead of Zlatan Ibrahimovic or not? I still think that what Ibra did in his smaller time, especially the leadership he had on his role. Obviously, Mbappe came at a much younger age. I mean, Ibra was 30 plus when he joined Paris Saint-Germain. So when it comes to leadership and maturity, obviously Ibra takes that. But I think Mbappe has stayed now at the club for such a long time and done so many stuff. Even though he's wanted to leave so many times, I still gotta put him ahead of Ibra, I think. Even though I love Ibra. Like, this just shows how unbiased of an opinion it is. Next up, Jeremy Menez. I mean, I remember him from my first season as a PSG fan. Really good squad player, bench rotation, and where do I put him? I think I'm gonna put him, ahead of Moise. You know what? Even ahead of Lavezzi. I'm gonna put him there in good, behind Lucas Moura and between him and Lavezzi. Next up, it's Pablo Sarabia. Again, good squad player, only in his first season. But I'm gonna definitely put him in mid ahead of Icardi. I think that's a good place for him. Next up, it's Lionel Andres Messi. Did a lot of stuff for this. Nah, he didn't do a lot of stuff. But I still can't, disrespect him too much because he still did a lot of great stuff. I'm gonna put him in world class behind Edinson Cavani and Di Maria. He was obviously better than Lucas and Menez and all of these players. And lastly, but not least, Kevin Gamero. Again, squad player there in only my first PSG season, I think, and then he left, I believe, to Sevilla in Spain. But I'm gonna put him in mid above Sarabia. Yeah, I only saw him for one season, so I don't really know what he did previously to them, but I'm gonna put him there. I just saw that I forgot Neymar, so I'm gonna put him in 1 second. And I'm back. Neymar is here, last player to put in the ranking. Obviously, Neymar has to be GOAT level. I'm gonna put him. Where do I actually put him? I mean, now that we got Di Maria there. Oh. Well, he's not donkey. Where should I put Neymar Jr.? This is a really good question because he's definitely ahead of Cavani. Question is he ahead of Di Maria? You know what? I'm gonna put Neymar here. I'm gonna put Neymar as a GOAT. Obviously, ability-wise, sure, he's the best ability-wise player I've seen at PSG. But if we're factoring everything else, I think he's gonna be there, lost in the GOAT. So we got Mbappe, Ibra, and Neymar in GOAT. We got Di Maria, Cavani, and Messi in world class. We got Lucas Moura, Jeremy Menez, Ezequiel Lavezzi, Moise Kean, and Julian Draxler in good. We got Kevin Gamero, Pablo Sarabia, Mauro Icardi, Moussa Diaby, and Christopher Nkunku in mid, and Choupo-Moting, Hugo Ekitike, and Jesse Rodriguez in donkey. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys agreed with these takes I just made here. I mean, I think they're pretty good. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about them. And I'm also going to put the link for this tier list in the comments down below. So you could do this tier list yourself and send them to me on Twitter. And I can rate them for you guys. That's been it from your boy. And as usual, allez, allez. Allez, Paris.